This is a quick review of irony before we continue reading The Pardoner's Tale. I am sure that you have studied irony at a few different times during your school career, but irony can be a little tricky, so we wanted to review the concept. Irony is a literary device that describes moments of surprise, suspense, and sarcasm. Ironic moments occur when plot twists happen or when characters act in ways that are opposite of what readers expect. And these happen in shows that you watch, movies you watch, books you read, and they create elements of engaging plot points that are either surprising or suspenseful. There are three different types of irony that you need to recognize, and all of them are used in The Pardoner's Tale or The Wife of Bath's Tale that we will read next. Situational irony is the classic irony that we think of when we say, well, that's ironic. Situational irony is when something occurs that is the opposite of what you would expect to occur, or a surprising plot twist. For example, when the bad guy gets killed by a misfire of his own weapon. You thought things were going to go one way, but plot twist, they went the other way. When in the movie Frozen, when Olaf the snowman sings his song about summer, what makes that song funny is that it is ironic because he is fantasizing about something that would not go the way that he expected at all. And in the movie Monsters, Inc., when Sully, the big bad monster, is afraid of the little girl, that is the exact opposite of what we would expect because she should be afraid of the monster. Those are situational irony. Verbal irony is when you say something that is the opposite of what you mean. This comes across as sarcasm in our tone of voice. And so, for example, when someone belches in public and you say classy, that is an example of verbal irony because it's obviously not classy to belch in a fancy place. So you're saying the opposite of what you mean. Names can sometimes also be verbally ironic, such as naming your tiny chihuahua something fierce like killer or bruiser. And for example, when your friend tells a really, really boring story and you say, great story, bruh, that is an example of verbal irony. The third type of irony is dramatic irony. And it's called dramatic irony because it occurs in dramas or in plays. This is something, it's not only something that occurs in plays, but that's why it's called that. And this is when the audience of readers or viewers know something important that some of the characters don't know. And this is what creates suspense. So, for example, when you are watching a scary movie and you, as the audience member, can see that there's a bad guy sneaking up on the main character, but the characters don't know. That's a suspenseful moment because we know something, and that creates dramatic irony. Another example would be in superhero movies where we, the audience, know the identity of the superhero, but the other characters in the movie don't. And so it can build suspense. It can also create humor when someone doesn't realize, for example, the identity of someone that they are talking to. So these are the three different types of irony. We have, again, situational irony when things are the opposite of what you would expect. Verbal irony when you say the opposite of what you mean. And dramatic irony when the audience knows something that the characters don't know. We have already encountered some examples of irony in the Canterbury Tales. So, for example, in the first half of The Pardoner's Tale, the pardoner preaches a sermon about how loving money is a sin, but he is using his sermon to get money from other people. That is an example of situational irony. That is the opposite of what you expect. It is a plot twist. These three rioters go and vow to kill this traitor death. That's got a little bit of verbal irony in it because it's how can you kill death? There's a funny verbal twist in that. But then it is also situationally ironic because it is the opposite of what you would expect. So pay attention as you read the second half of The Pardoner's Tale for other examples of all three types of irony.